You ran here, Charles.
Huh?
You run here?
Oh, yeah, man. I've been trying to get here. Good morning.
No, I feel like the time you got here, it was like 7:58.
Are we getting the quiz back?
I got the car. I don't even get my vitamins in the morning anymore. That's how late I was. I got that early last night.
Oh, yeah.
We sat there for, 2 hours together.
So guys, the average on this quiz was a 77. And there were 8 A's, 9 B's, 7 C's, 10 D's, 4 F's. So a little bit lower than normal for you guys. So one thing that I think threw people off when you're solving equations, and it's one thing for me to say this, it's a whole other thing for you to believe me, that I don't care what I put into an equation, it does not change the idea.
It just makes our life more difficult.
Exactly. So if I add, let's say 0.5x plus 2.8, 1.6x minus 6.3, for example. You could just attack this directly without multiplying by anything, or you can multiply by something to make the decimal go away. It doesn't really matter. Either way you want to do this. So if you just kind of attack this directly.
0.5x.
Yeah, so the same idea applies. I want to move my x's one way. I want to move my numbers the other way. Right, so it doesn't matter that there's decimals in here. It's still the same idea. I want to get my x's together. So I can move those over that way if I want to. And what's this here? 1.6 minus 0.5.
1.1.
Yeah, 1.1. So it's like 16 minus 5, really. 11, so 1.1.
Plus 6.3.
Yes? Well, things are happening. And then, yeah, so now you want to move the numbers the other way. So plus 6.3.
Why does this look so easy on the board when we get it in my test? And it's
Because
just
on the board, I'm doing it.
I just want it to look easy.
That definitely makes it look easy.
She just told you next.
Right? And then the last step is almost always divide. So x equals, and then whatever 9.1 divided by 1.1 is. So on the side, 1.1 into 9.1, what can I do here? What do I have to do here, actually? Move the decimal, yeah. So it becomes 11 into 91. 11 goes into 91 8 times. 9 would be too much, right? So that's where the decimal point goes. Some of us had trouble with when we divided decimals, the decimal kind of floated around somewhere else. It's got to be right where it is. Some of us still put, for example, if you do this, some of us put the 8 here, which is definitely going to throw us off, because then our decimal's here, and there's going to be like another number in there, and what the hell? So you've got to put the numbers 11 into 91, so the 8's got to go here. If you do that for yourself, the decimal goes right where it is. No question. You don't have to guess. You don't have to figure it out. It's just right where the hell it is. That's where it goes. That's awesome. Okay. And then here I'd probably tell you to go out to some length. I don't know. Somewhere I tell you to stop because this might drive you crazy. This is a 2, so maybe I'll tell you to stop here, 8.27. If I don't tell you where to stop, a couple decimal places is not a bad idea. If I don't say round it to the nearest hundredth, 1,000th, or whatever, then you can do a couple decimal places and stop. Don't go crazy. Don't go out to 16 places. Unless you're Willie wants. I'll go out to 28 places. No. Are there any specific questions from the quiz?
I feel like I can't round. I know where the places are, but I don't know, like.
Oh, thank you. The biggest area of concern is number 3. No question about it. Yeah.
Please, on page 28, 7317 to the 10 minutes. Yes, I yes.
Okay, all right. So I'm not going to do your specific one, but we'll do one like this, right? So if I have a problem, 174.09266. First thing for me is to denote what the places are. What place is the 0 in?
10.
This is the tenths. This is the
Hundreds.
hundredths,
Thousands.
thousandths.
10,000.
This 6 is in the 10,000ths. And then finally, hundred. Thousands. All right, so you just gotta count your way out. Now, a lot of you guys, let me be careful. Some of you guys knew those places, or at least I could tell you knew the places by what you did. You just weren't sure what to do with the rest of the number. I really want this understood. What whole number is this closest to, for example? What whole number would this be closest to?
174.
174.
174, yeah, right? So if I ask you to round to the ones place, it would just be 174. So rounding is a very specific way to estimate a number. No, if I would have said estimate this, some of us would say 200. You with me? Some of us might say 170, and some of us might say 174. It kind of depends on how you personally round things, right? But some of us rounded to the ones place, some of us would round it to the tens place. And if I round it to the tens place, what is it?
7 years.
To the tens place.
174.1.
So you say to yourself, whenever I say round it to this place, you look to the next number and say, in this case, this could be either a 170 or it could be a 180. And it's a 170 because
Oh,
that's not
Okay.
Okay.
you guys with me so far?
Yes.
So the ones place would be 174, tens place would be 170, hundreds place 200. Exactly. So if you wrote down this, I kind of understand what you mean, but by writing that, you're claiming that 174.09266 is approximately 2. Right? And if this is how much money you're going to get paid, you don't want to do that. A couple bucks, you buy. You want to say, no, it's about $200. That's much better. So now, just rounding tens, hundreds, thousands, I think most of us seem to kind of get that. When I throw the decimals in, it really gets confused. What you really want to do is, if I ask you to round to the hundredths place, for example, I'm going to chop it right there, but I have to be real careful about the next number to tell me what I'm going to do with this. So I know it's going to go out to 174.0 something. If I say round it to the hundredths place, I know I want to take that number out to that place. And of course I look to the next number, and what do I do with that? The next number that tells me to do what with this?
Would it be a 90?
Don't make any more out of this than it has to be. The next number is less than 5, so I leave it alone. Right? Not a big deal. Same things always.
But if it was in the 10,000, how would you write it?
All right.
In the 10,000.
So if I want the 10,000ths place, and this is not a bad way to do this problem. You know that everything stays the same up until that place then, don't you? So then write it all out. 174.092, and then the whole thing is what goes there. I should have been more careful. We've already said that this is the 10,000ths place, so we're cool with that. So you can write all this out if you want to, or you can just count tenths, hundredths, thousands, 10,000ths. Okay, I want to go out to that place. What number goes here, though, in that place? 7, because the next number is higher than 5, or 5 or more. So there it is. So that's the idea. You go out to the place where I ask you to round to, you look at the next number to tell you what number goes there.
If there is no next number, do you just assume it's a 0?
I like it. Then it is a 0. We know it's a 0. Yeah.
So we just keep it as it is?
So if I ask you to round to the 100,000ths place, the next number is a 0 because there's nothing there. So it would just be this whole number. So if I ask you to go to the 100,000ths place, the answer would just be that whole number. Because you go out to there, the next number is a 0. So that stays the same. I like it. How do we feel about that? Because I was getting a lot of something like this, 174.09366. Like you change this to a 3, but then these are still there for some reason. Now that number is not really close to this number. It's close to that number. And another way to look at this, that's 266 right there, isn't it? And that's close to 300. It's not close to 366. So I was getting a lot of people just changing one number and then leaving everything else the same. Don't do that. You got to change that place and then chop everything else off. Okay, hopefully. Is that better, maybe? No, it's not better at all. I did nothing to help the situation. Let's do another. Here, you guys try this one.
I want this.
Second?
I want this question, please.
No.
Okay.
No. You have to make corrections. I can come help you in a minute, but I'm not going to do it for you. I know, I mean... All right, guys, try that one. Yeah. Two. Weird. They multiply. Life finds a way. Thank you. While you guys are doing that, anybody need a blank copy of the practice test? Anybody else blank copy? Okay.
Next month, we're gonna have a 12, 12, 12. Oh, no, no,
I can't remember what I scheduled. Oh, yeah. Just remind me when you think. It's gonna affect you in class. That's it. That's right. So there's the tents. You go out of that place. That's all yeah, they were doing, they were just changing the number, and then they would write, 2, 7, and then these have to go away. Because that's 1725. The rest of them are 0. So they go away. Yep, good.
I think I did it.
All right, guys, which number is in the tens place?
Seven.
Yeah.
I mean, the eight. One.
Hey.
Tenths.
No, it's one.
One.
Seven.
Yeah, no, I love it.
Everybody's like, wait.
Thankfully, nobody said like 4. That would really freak me out. All right, so tens, ones, tenths. Yeah, tenths is always the one immediately after the decimal, and then it goes hundreds, thousands. So it's not really difficult to count that off. It's just sometimes difficult to do specific detailed problems with those places. So I find the tens place. So I know I'm going to go 89 point something. I know I'm going to stop at that place. The next number tells me
7.
to make that 1 become a 2.
8.
Because it's... You can't figure it out.
6.
No, I know. Hike. All right. All right. So the thousands place. Where's the thousands place?
Thousands has been the,
Tenths,
two.
hundredths,
Two.
thousands, 11. So I know I'm going to go out 1, 7, and I'm going to stop there. Tenths, hundreds, I'm going to stop at the thousands
Yeah,
place.
2.
Careful. The next number is a 5.
It can go either way.
Not either way. So officially 0 to 4 stays, 5 to 9, up.
3.
3.
But it's, I mean, if it was 5, I'm saying if it's 5, that's half, so you can go either.
Like optimistic.
I'd like to be optimistic.
So let me make it a little less subjective,
Okay.
right? You have 20 through 24, for example, and they would all round to 20 if I was going to round it to the tens place. And there's how many? There's 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers would round to
Once you
20.
reach
So to make
5.
it fair, the next 5 numbers should round to 30.
Okay.
That would be fair then, wouldn't it? Half of them round down, half of them round up. And sure enough, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All those round up to
Okay,
30.
the next number.
Isn't it weird when you think about it like that? Like you have 10 numbers, but you're missing one.
It's because the 0 you counted as 1.
Yeah.
That's a number. Poor little 0 dude's a number. Yeah. I give it all the time. I ask how many numbers are between 0 and 9, and everybody says 9. No, there's 10. Forgot the 0. Yep.
It's like I have.
All right, guys. So what about the tens place?
The 8.
The 8's in the tens place. Guys, hey. So I know I'm gonna go out to the tens place. I gotta be a little careful. I don't want to put the 8 there because actually the next number is a 9. But I know I want to go out 2 places.
Yeah, 9.
I want to have this whole number here. So 9.
Oh.
Oh, I love it. So that's 90. 89 is closer to 90 than it is to 80. That's the idea. And then hundredths. What's in the hundredths place?
180, and 0.
Wait, what's in the hundreds place? Yeah, tenths, hundredths.
8, okay.
89.1. And I know I'm going to stop there.
7.
Yeah, the next number's a 2, so I leave that 7 alone.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's 3 out of 4.
Does that make a little more sense? I mean, it gives you a plan of attack here. Maybe. Okay, good.
No, okay.
Okay. I like it. And that's another reason why. Oh, okay. That's another reason why I like quizzes and I like to make them more. I give you plenty of opportunity to correct them because when I see the results from a quiz, it helps me know what to go a little deeper into. So then I want to give you a specific way to do something if I see everybody having trouble. And basically everybody had trouble in number 3. Almost nobody was immune to some problem with number 3.
You're welcome.
Okay, so now, if there's anything else, you guys can work on quiz corrections. You can call me over if you need some help with something. We can do something up on the board. If you have a specific kind of problem you want to look at. This is a review day, so it's wide open.
I
Yeah.
have some. But I know it was section 6.4, I believe.
Yeah.
Like when it has like the square root of like 17. The weird numbers.
Make corrections. 6.4?
Yeah, where it's like square root of like 17. The weird numbers. I forgot how to do those.
So guys, the two kinds of problems you'll see in 6.4 that involve weird square roots. So you'll see like square root of 16. What is the square root of 16? Careful. It's not 16 divided by 2. It's what does it take 2 up to multiply to be 16, and that's 4. Right? We've already got the idea of division. So I wouldn't invent square roots to do something we already do. They have to do their own thing. So square root of 16 is 4 because 4 times 4 is 16. Of course, I went a little crazy the other day, and I tried to show you the more complete picture about cube roots and 4th roots and 188th roots. They all mean the same thing. They all say, what does it take this many of? 2 in this case. There's an understood 2 here. That's why we call it a square root. Or cube root would be, what does it take 3 of to multiply with something? So for example, what's the cube root of 27? What does it take 3 of to multiply to be 27? Not 9. 9 times 9 times 9 is big. What does it take 3 of to multiply to be 27? 3. 3 times 3 is 9 times another 3, 27. Do you see the idea? It's not division by 3. It's unfortunate that it looks very close to this. But that's not at all what it means. In fact, if I'm a little more careful, it's got a little cube root sitting inside that thing. That's the cube root symbol. This is 3 because it takes 3 3s to multiply to be 27. So you're a little ahead of the game now. You're now when you get into Math 90, Math 103, or 110, you already kind of know 5th roots. You know exactly how to attack them anyway, right? Okay. So what Victoria's asking about is, there's 2 types of things they'll ask you to do with this. First off, do you know what the square root of 17 is? And I don't either, so screw it. So one thing they could ask me to do is very directly just say, let the calculator know. That's why they were built. Let the calculator eat it up and tell me. The other thing is to go, okay, we're humans, we made freaking calculators. We should at least be able to do something with this. And what should the square root of 17 be close to? 4, like we just did. Square root of 16 is 4. Square root of 17, if I want to give a kind of like a not a wild guess, but I'd say like 4.06. And sometimes they're really close and it amazes students. How did you do that? Sometimes I'm not so close and I'm like, oh, I'm kind of tired. you know, who knows? I know it's gonna be just over 4. And can somebody help me out? Can you do the square root of 17?
4.123.
4.123? So in that case, I wasn't all that close, but all too bad.
Wow.
See, obviously I don't have to put it in my calculator, but.
So the other thing, the idea they have with this estimation thing is, for example, they'll say, between what two numbers? Is the square root of 91, for example. Okay, that's one number, but hold on. So 91, what's the next lower number that I can actually do the square root of? And what's the next higher number that I can do the square root of?
89.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Not 89, but you said 89.
Yes.
Right? But what's 9 times 9?
81.
Ah, see, so the square root of 81 is below that, that's 9. And what's the next thing up?
100.
9 times 9 is 81, 10 times 10 is 100, so the square root of 100 is 10. So then square root of 91 must be between 9 and 10. That's exactly how you do that. What is the square root of 91? Somebody help me out.
9.53.
Yeah, I like this. 9.53, blah, 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 right? So it is between 9 and 10. And it kind of makes sense, it's about halfway, it's about halfway in between those, right? Doesn't always work that nicely, though, to be honest with you. Square roots, they're not nice things. How's that? Is that cool? That's the two main things they can ask you to do with a weird one. They can't ask you to just give it what they know. They can say estimate it, or they can say throw it in the calculator, just to make sure you can use the calculator correctly. Yeah? Oh, so don't lose the 41. That's got to still be there too. And then tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s. It's not going to become a 7 because the next number is understood to be at 0. So it would stay at 6. The next number from 6 would be 0 because there's nothing there. So it would stay at 6, yeah. And don't lose the 41. The 41 is you're saying that this is approximately this, and that's less than 1. It should be approximately 41. Cool. So don't lose the stuff before it.
Okay, that one.
Wow.
I was so I told you.
Even that fast.
What's the number?
Oh,
No, because I had a different phone there. That's why I was like, oh, wait, how much was that? Oh, yeah.
I was sitting upstairs. Someone failed.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, go ahead.
So do me a favor. You notice well, you can't notice. Put a little notation at the top. There's one called International Edition of Joplin has a little bit. So put on the top, remember a little difference. And just keep writing the problem.
You put this one as a 17.2. 17.2.
So 3 and 4.
Wait, I'm sorry. I do it. It's 3.
Yeah, the
So
square root
I
of
was like,
9
wait. There's supposed to be a 7 there.
There's some number between 3 and 4.
I'd do that.
If 3 squared is 9, 4 squared is 16, what squared is? 13. What squared is 13?
What?
3 squared is below it, 4 squared is above it, so between 3 and 4 squared is in between. So for example, like, let's see, 6 squared is 36, right? And 7 squared is 49. I skipped a bunch of numbers, I had 36, I skipped 37, 38, 39. So what squared is 37? Well, 6 squared is 36, so just a little more than 6 squared would be 37. Make it a little bit bigger. If 6 squared is 36, what do you square to get 37? Some number that's just a little bit bigger than 6. 6.0 something. So the bigger question then is, what's the square root of 40? It's in between 6, because 6 squared is 36, and 7, because 7 squared is 49. 40 is right in the middle. So what's the square root of 40? It's something in between 6 and 7. That's all you can say. And then you can do it in the calculator, see exactly what it is. And it would be 6 points on it. Exactly. Now you look at 28. It's gonna go up to 30. 10
Ow.
points.
That was painful.
Oh, you just kind of break it up into parts and square it on the top. Square it down.
Oh, I.
No, and then that's just it. What's the square root of 9? What is it? 3. And what's the square root of 25? So it'd be 3 over 5. Thus. Oh, so that would be sort of like this one. It'd be 3 is a whole plus. And 17. 100,000. Thousand. It's gotta have that TH to show that it's small. That is a decimal. Yeah, check it. So let's see. All right. Right there. It's gonna work. Negative. Of course it works now. So it was probably something like. Oh, I didn't see that. That's how you know it's wrong. I got you. I got you. Okay.
Hey, Justin. Oh, you helped me. Holding
So,
upside down. I already know that.
when you break this thing down, you identify what you do first. You say, okay, no PEMDAS. I have to do exponents before I multiply. So then on the side here, you can do 0.6 times 0.6. That's square. Then you multiply that. And then right here, you gotta put that in there. So let me see. So now let's see where that's happening. Right, so now here, you do that. Whatever number you get, you put there. And then you multiply it by 4. And the last thing you do is subtract it. Yeah. Right there. Yeah, cool. Oh, let's see. Anybody else still need their quiz back? Everybody got their quiz back?
I don't know what you did here, but I got the whole name for because here how you got the 142.
No, but you can see the choices.
Yeah, I think I have it right.
Anytime this number is a decimal, when it comes out, this number is
I think you probably over.
and then that's what that decimal going in. So if you move it over, it's gonna equal 2.
Or as we say in the Navy, you moved it.
No, it's once, because it's just one away from it. But if it was 1.2873, you have to move it over how many times you get it.
With not seeing
So here, you move this over, move that over, and then you divide. Because then you divide, you don't have to worry about it. It's just right here. So you move it first, and then you divide. No, this is just so you can see whatever, this is just so that you can see what the quiz looked like. So you can kind of see what was on the quiz. Your quiz grade is going to be the same as whatever your test score is, so that is not a 0. Yeah, so whatever you make on the test is going to go up. The test is next to the test is
Yeah, I'm just like, I get screwed up when I do. I did too, I did thousands, but I went the hundreds.
And we do that.
I did them and then.
That's all right. So what would you do here? Good, so it's 5 times 2. There you go. So here, it would be 6x times 5.
I have like bits and pieces of this.
You can put that over 1. So the process doesn't care what numbers are in there.
I think 3C, is 44.
Oh, the nice thing with this is, I know it's a 3.
You know how when you multiply,
Freehand, and then you write 1700,000, so you gotta put 17.
So you got it right, it's just to put
In the
negative.
100,000.
Oh, you're telling me.
And then 10.
Yeah.
100,000.
Yeah, this one, I think it's just 41.
So I want the last number to set 17 here.
Yes.
And then just take the zeros in there to show people that I want to go hard.
Yes. So, like,
Go pick a name here. Next number is 4. So 4. And 15 over 1,000. 15,000. So this is actually easier to come restricted here, and this is actually easier to come either one. The 100,000 tells you whether
passed out, I was like trying to do it, and I like,
all the way out to 100,000. And then I fill zeros in just to kind of keep that. 15,000. And there's tens, hundreds, thousands, fives in the thousands, so that's good. 15 over there. Yeah, that could happen. I think on this one, it's not supposed to. Oh, I see. This is a situation where, 2 things. If you add this over, they should all be on the same side. And do these cancel? You can't do it though. If you did move that over, it had to become positive. The second thing is, do these really cancel? Yeah, and that wouldn't be good. 'Cause so what do you really want to have canceling? That. You have your numbers there, you want your x's to go away. Cool. Oh. Okay.
Okay, well, 15, I know you went over 9 the other day, but this one has 2 different numbers on one. I have no idea how to set that.
Oh, so this is talking about area of a lawn. They give you 2 numbers here because you've got to figure out the area of the lawn first. So this is area of lawn to insecticide. You need the area of the lawn here. So how do you find the area of that lawn? It's 260 by 180. So the area would be length times width. And that's the number you put here, because an area's got to go here.
So I multiply them?
Yep, just to get the area.
Okay. Yeah, wait a minute.
Alright, so, what number's in the 10s? No, that 1 is in the 1 to 4. So what number's in the 10s? 4. Yeah, because there's 4 10s. 1 1. No. wanna round to the nearest 10. So what tens could it could be 40 or 50. Yeah. So really what you do is you know you wanna be this place, and then you look to the next number to see, do I make it 40 or 50? So now here, that's actually, so here's the idea. I want to leave everything alone up until the place I'm rounding to when I'm doing decimals. So 10,000's place, 100,000 is the last thing. So everything else should stay exactly the same. The last one is the one that might change. And the next number below 6 is understood to be a 0. So the 6 won't change. But everything else stays the same. Yep. Because I'm rounding to that last number, and the number below that is a 0. Now, what number is in the ones place? 10,000. So 10,000. What number is in the ones? Okay, so I know I'm going to go for something. Stop. Because that's the ones place I want to go. And the next number down is 8. So what am I going to do with that 1? Yeah. The 2. Because it's either going to go down to stay at 1 or it's going to go up to 2. And then you can't move everything else there. Just 42. Really, here's the idea. 41 points, I forgot what it was, 41.8?
Yeah.
8, blah, blah, blah. It's in between 41 and 42, but it's obviously closer to 42. Now, if you said 42.8, you somehow jumped up to here to 42.8 something. You gotta be the nearest one, and there's your ones, 41, 42. It's gotta be one of these two. So in general, you stop at the place you're rounding to. And so what about the last one? Yeah, that was perfect. 10th place is 8, the next one is 1, 2, 3,
Start to, I guess, 30 gives it. It's not really 90. No.
What place is the movement? Yeah, 12 not 12 over 10. Good. Oh, I see what you're saying. The 100 has 3 places. We don't think about it like this. There are 2 zeros. Right? So there are two places in hundreds. And really what's not fair here is I can only have one, and that's the single place. The tens, so we're used to the ones place is here. So the tens place is here. There's no change. It's like how it doesn't make any sense. Now you're saying, well, it's going off. 10 has 2 places, whereas 10 has 1. So again, it's just because it's kind of unfair that one on this side, that was wrong. Excluded by 1. They don't have their own. That's what I'm questioning. I'm curious if this is going to do anything. The fact that you're always talking about 103 digits. But 100 has 2. And that's really why they start quicker. Instead of starting at 1.
Oh, I think they were all scientific.
Oh, yeah.
My brother has one.
Well, even though it's an adult, really border on my. Yeah, originally I was gonna hate it because of my experience on Corpus, but It's tough. It's the characters.
You gotta do that.
But the thing is, I don't know about the sequels. Like, the sequels, like, just make it an entrance.
Whenever you get it there, and the next thing is you multiply.
I'm further past the
We're gonna do that square.
I wish I was at 7.1. I'm ashamed.
Yeah.
I have a question.
I also wonder.
Victoria.
I'm gonna hand it out right now.
Thing is, I don't know about 2 and 3. They were both that it went down official. Just that.
Got 'em almost
It
there.
became a bad trend. Anyway, we saw one.
Alright guys, I'm gonna go ahead and give you the answer key for that practice test.
Oh, finally. Did I have it done yet?
Everybody kind of practice, but everybody kind of went.
What?
For the practice.
Answer fire.
Figure out this one, what 2 numbers.
Oh, okay. Square root of 9 is right in between. Square root of. Here, I do one more.
I just have to do right here.
Don't worry. Let me help you. So for example, like square root of 27. That's right in between. Isn't that right in between the square root of 25 and the square root of 36? Isn't that right in between those two? And where did I pick these numbers from? Because 5 squared is 25. So if I have 27, what's the closest I can get to it by squaring something? I can square 5 and get 25. I can square 6 and get 36. But I can't square anything and get exactly 27, right? So where would this be then? It's got to be in between 5 and 6. If 5 squared is 25, is that enough to make 27? No. So it's actually got to be a little bit more than 5. 5 squared is 25. It's not enough. It's got to be a little bit more than 5 to make 27. So as you square things, see all these gaps? Aren't there numbers in between each of those? Aren't there numbers in between 1 and 4? 4 and 9, right? There's like, for example, 2 and 3, and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. You cut it with me? 1 squared is 1. 2 squared is 4. I skipped a bunch of numbers, didn't I? 3 squared is 9. I skipped even more numbers. So poor little 7 gets left out, for example. Right? So what do I square to make 7? Something in between 2 and 3. Like maybe 2.2 or 2.3. That's the idea. Yeah, I'll let you think about that. Yeah. When you multiply by 10, alright, so for example, what's 2 times 3 times 4? You did not not do this 6 times 8. You see what somebody gave that a 2 and that up, you get 1, 2. So here, you multiply both sides by 10 if you want to, or actually by 100 really. In this case though, I'm 1 step away from being done. There's really no reason to get rid of my decimals because the next step will be done. But if you did multiply both sides by 10, it would become 30x equals 181.2. There's not an extra 10. Yeah, and then you're like subtracting 30, but that would never cancel the multiplication, so that's what's throwing you off there too. It should be this number. There's no 30 to subtract. Yeah, divide. And actually from the very beginning, just divide by 3. Yeah. Let's see. Alright, I like it. That's perfect. Everything got multiplied by 10. Made them all whole numbers. Awesome. Over here, good, good, good. I like it. 5. Let's see. Oh, this one's really, I should stick here. This is 16x minus 21. So when you subtract 16x, this is left. Right? That's gonna change that. That's something weird here. How do you cancel the 130? You add 133, not negative 130. Right? You just add 133. So the funny thing is, you actually come out to be right, just with the wrong sign. Now the bigger one's positive. 133 minus 21 is 112. Yep, just 112. So you got the right answer because some of your mistakes cancel each other out. You know what I mean? Good. 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 Well, wait a minute. You actually switch these two around. The 10 places here. So it's either going to stay 4 or become 5. So it should be 40. If you round it to this place, then should go up or down to 1. So you kind of reverse these. The 1's place is here, so it's going to go, look at that, it's going to stay 1 or become 2. And otherwise, you're fine. So just those couple things. Oh, yeah. And let's find the total spend. So 16 billion plus 7. So don't worry about the billion, just do 16 plus 7.5. And then put the word billion after it.
This is also standard notation.
Right, it's all in billions, and in standard notation just means don't put the word billion, put the zeros in. Enough to make it billions.
Question mark, but it was.
Oh, that's right. I got you. Okay, okay.
I know she's like, go.
Did you turn in the other one before? I didn't give it to you back in the first
Yeah, you
one.
gave me the other one.
Oh, I gave you the first part back. Okay, okay. I got you.
Correction.
Oh, cool. Okay. Did anybody, real quick guys, did I give a blank copy of the practice test to somebody who actually already has one maybe at home? Okay, so I ran out, Kathy. Oh, you lost it, so you need another one.
So negative divided by negative.
Oh, you found it? Can you give a blank one second? Oh, you didn't find it? So you still need the one I gave you? Okay.
So what you talking about, this?
Yeah.
And what you need to do?
I gave some to some people that might have already had them. And I ran out of gas. So I can.
Where is it?
So Catherine, you want you to come with me to my office after class? I can go get your copy. I just ran out. I gave them all away. Or Charles said, I don't think you have to do that.
No, I'm
Don't worry. I'll go get you, to come with me after class.
That might be a
I am so behind. I kid you not. I hate my
No, you don't. You've been finding out that.
I do. I hate going to school. Everyone can. I feel so behind.
Hey,
That's good. Or you could write, what would it look like as a decimal? Oh, you got two. Oh, perfect. All right. Here you go. That works out. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you,
So,
Charles.
do 5.1, 5.5, 5.6, 6.1, 6.2, 6.3.
Oh, yeah, they're gonna do a Star Wars episode 7.
Yeah, that's 16.
But it's being done by Disney, Disney bought Disney.
So, fourth root of 16 will be 2. The fourth root of 16, not the square root. The square root of 16 says, what does it take 2 of? It takes 2 fours to make it. The fourth root would be 2, because that takes 4 twos. Do you see the difference? So if I just, like 81, the square root of 81 is 9, but the fourth root of 81 is 3. That's the difference, so you have to be careful, which root do I ask for? So there, I just want the square root, just cut it in half. Don't cut it into 4 parts.
We say 2, 4 times. 4 times 2, 2 times 4.
Yeah, 2 to the 4th is 16, I agree with you, but the square root of 16 is 4. It's not 2. The square root of 4 is 2. The fourth root of 16 is 2, that's the only. No, you can take it off. On the day of the test, it's not due today, it's due the day of the test. Yeah, by the day of the test, you get some. You don't have to do it today.
We have a quiz.
Yes, yes.
Test, yeah. Test, yeah. Yeah, that's why I gave you the answer key for the practice. Huh?
We didn't finish all.
No, then we have more stuff to
Chapter
do.
6 and 5.
Yeah,
All each
5 and 6.
5.
Oh, yeah. You do that, wow. Without a doubt.
Check all. 3/5 is 0.6. 4/5 is 0.8. 5/5.
What's your reaction to episode 7, Star Wars?
As long as you show me the word.
Oh,
Okay. I just see a decimal coming out of the number. Good.
but the thing is, but
I've only had 3 assignments that are done. I hate working.
Yes. Doesn't play actual rules by
This is the one I'm still. Great. You want it back right now?
I mean, oh yeah. Really want to see it.
Just give it back to me.
I see you.
Does she want, like, someone? You gotta make it a point.
I'm gonna make it right now.
Because then they'll email me, I can send the test, it's all set up, and then you can go straight there.
I'm gonna make it right now.
Okay.
Are we done?
It's up to you. Oh, I'm